Of the three gameplay games, the Fixit game does seem to be the one making money. And it's looking like he might have the chance. This design might have the chance of taking on those numbers from the January 2025 mark on Devil's Towers. Sorry if I'm slurping a little. Just did some run around to refill the thermos. There's nobody here, so it's kind of dangerous to be trying to use the leg, which has given out on me several times today when I try to even just move around in my room. Luckily, I'm hugging the wall. Literally. Alright, let's take a peek here. This is How Not to Game with Callie Jack. This is the Devil's Towers 1969 Fixit game. And we're kind of looking over what we can do in this game to get rolling again. Now I do want to apologize. It's going to take me a second to switch cards. Didn't mean to hit start. So this is episode 84. In this game. '84 episodes when we've gotten to 1991. Let's take a peek, and we're going to start using some of the things we're finding out in the tutorial sessions that we've done, the one that wasn't that great, and the more detailed and intensive Expanding Worlds one that I'm really starting to dig into things that we didn't dig into before. So first off, what lines do I have that aren't making money and why? Second off, do I have stations that are not being served? So that's my 2 steps I'm taking. So let's go ahead and do our sets. No connection, and oh my goodness. We have a problem, and this problem dates back to the fact that this is a recovery position. When I went to save the 1994 point that we had reached, the system glitched. Or I glitched. Probably me. I'm old. You know, anybody over 50 is senile, right? In some way, shape, or form. And I'm definitely into my second half century here. So, what do I want to do? Well, the last time when I was trying to fix this, I went into Brenton. And we're going to deal with the station list first, then come to these, or should we? No. I've got a better idea. Just typing the word Brent into filter should get it down, and there they are. So that these here are the lines I've got. I've got one where it's an old bus. What do we got on that bus? We got an old H-Trans still out on the road. That's right, we did. So let's take a peek at him, get to him. First things first. I'm going to tell him, retire in the field. And because that's a swift bus, we need to dispatch something good. Well, the nice thing is we know how to dispatch something good. Get ourselves back to standard north view so we know where we're at. Oops. We were on north view. I was going the wrong direction. Kelly Jack is losing it here. This is How Not to Game with Kelly Jack. I am Kelly Jack, the handle, nickname, gaming name, whatever, of the guy behind Guy Rex, which is his writing name when he writes. Not much anymore. Episode 84. We dealt with everything now. Twice, probably. Sorry if I'm sounding a little goofy. I did mess up my knee yesterday. For those of you who haven't heard me in the other ones, if I give grunts and groans, assume I shifted the leg a little bit to keep the leg from going to sleep, and the pain got me for a sec. So I apologize. No, I don't have good painkillers. I have just ibuprofen. That's all I should need. Normally, that's more than enough for me. All right, let's take a peek here. We are looking at buses, too. There we go. You, sell, get out of my way. We'll deal with things here as we deal with them. So he's going to take and retire out in the field. We won't have to worry. We're going to unpause the game, let things start rolling around. We've got this Swift bus. Let's go ahead and dispatch whatever bus we can find that's going to fix it. The megahertz is a good option, and we need to get as many of those out before they go obsolete. So that goes on to the Brenton Spring Cross number 2 line. There he is. Get that out there. That's a nice Swift bus to take and run that series. All right, so we've got the bridge stop. The bridge stop. And the west stop. That one. The branch stop. Where is branch? Well, the branch is all the way out there. We're going to serve him somewhat differently. Find out what needs to get over there. And we also happen to have the external and village stops. External, of course, being headquarters, and we're going to rename that. That is considered our main halt. All right, and then the village east stop, which, if I remember right, is that one. So I can see already a quick, easy fix. We're going to grab one of these double-deckers. We're going to start him here, have him hit each of these stops along here, and loop back around to the business stop, then copy backwards. This is going to become our new Brenton line. And we're going to call that 21 half. As that serves our main SNS station. Okay. What else can we do here? Well, now we're down to just the branch stop. For service 2, we're going to do that out of Ashlock. Because if I remember right, this guy needs service out of Ashlock. Turn off our coverage for a moment. And Brenton, and Spring Cross, and Rendon. So we may need to take and figure something slightly different there. And I am thinking about something slightly different there. What else can we do here? Knowing what I know, what else can I do? Not as much as I would like. That did cut down. Now we need to take and think about Newchester, Rendon especially, and Springmouth. But before we get to that, we need to get a bus servicing corporate. So the corporate bus is going to be there, New Road Halt, and we'll give them a good one. Here. So he's going to hit that stop, that stop. Come around to Greenfields East. East stop, main stop, and copy backwards. And that is our good title for a bus name. Brenton and HQ bus. Okay. Oh, I distinctly remember telling everybody there was servings on that. There we go. It's just taking time for that to take and go, and that's because the bus isn't out there. Now that the bus is out there, give it a little bit of a speed run. He'll stop. Yep, he's now being served, and we should be able to just do that. And yep, that one disappeared. No more Brentons, except for the branch stop, which is the one we're serving from Ashlock. Ashwell. We need to head over to Ashwell. And see what we've got here. So we have an east scrapyard and the trash well transmodal. So trash yard transmodal does need one. And that's right here. And again, we are using the slightly faster trains, even on the waste trains, because frankly, we just don't have any other way to do this. I'm going to put in front, go back to locomotives, we're going to slap an SD in front. 4 is going to have to be enough, maybe, but let's see how many we can put behind. No, we can do a full 5, but I'm going to leave one short of a full 5 just because I have a feeling about this. This will clear up one of these. And he is no vehicle connections at all. So who's not being served, scrapyard wise? Is it Rebbies? Ashstead. We're in Ashwell. There it is. We're just going to call this company Organic Manglings. Again, on any of my games, I will take a name for an industry, a stop, or a bus route, or train route, or whatever. I'll even name ships if I have ships going in the game. If you give a good suggestion, please try to keep it unoffensive, not being offensive. Don't need to get in trouble. And trust me, there's enough trouble in this world as it is. Alright, so he's going to come from here. Where was that trash spot? Wasn't Skippy's, he was the other one. Our in-town guy, yeah, this guy. He goes to... You know what? I can get him to Trashy, and then we can build relays like we were doing on the other game. Just add another platform for that. That actually sounds like a great idea. Take me there. And this might cause problems down the road, but we'll see. And so this is coming from that sounds like a good name for a train. He's going now. I don't have to worry about him. All right. But we've got to get here in Ashwell somewhere. No, we were transporting them out from the satellite. Okay, so from satellite, we're going to send out a double bin dumper. And he's just going to have a quick relay route between these two. All right. And now again, we should have one more town off the list. Yep. Ashwell's down to just the east stop. And that's not got enough business yet. That's why we hadn't served it, but I think we will try to put a bus out onto that line. Taking a peek, though, at Ashwell's service, let's make certain we don't have anything too terrible in the Ashwell buses. Just an H-Trans. I'm going to leave the H-Trans running. Oh, wait a minute. On the express bus, we've got an H-Trans? No, no, no. We need to go to the much better bus on that. You go ahead and retire, Bubba. We're going to head back over to Springmouth and get you a new bus onto that line. We're putting the megahertz long bus onto that. And that's 36, so that's a quick scroll down instead of a fight. All right, then our other buses in this town are just not carrying enough passengers yet. Either too overlapping of routes or something. We'll start spreading those out as time goes on. Ashwell East should be ignored for now. Just like Branch, we'll come back for it later. Newchester, next place to head to. So here in Newchester, we got the west stop, this one here. The main stop, this one here. Those are the two that are biting us. We just never served them. You know what? That sounds like a good time to add a new bus here. And Bus Barn ain't that far away, so we can do it. We will toss out a minibus initially, because we are being financially conscious here. And you know what? Like that. We're going to do some weird line. Get everything set up. And this is the Squiggle bus. And that's an even better name. All right. Again, check it. That took care of those. Now we're down to Rendon, the Pulling Field, and Spoiled Watered Step, which I think is, let's take and go to Spoiled Water. It's part of Spring Cross, so we can do it. And do we have anything else for Spring Cross? No. So we took our, what was I thinking here? Well, there's one way to fix this. We're going to start running workers back to that spot. Just call it the worker bus. There we go. That'll take care of that. Again, double clicking just to erase it. I know it would be a lot easier if these just auto erased, I think they sort of meant that, you know, you should see what you're still working on in case you had to go back and tie it to something else. Let's go to Rendon, where we have 3 stops now currently not being solved. Downtown, it stopped serving apparently. Inner, over here, and the gas station yard there. Well, I'm just rotating to see if those were connected in, and they sort of are. Do that so that we can run a specialty bus. And we're going to come over to headquarters, dispatch that bus. And again, this is just one of the many things we can do using those items to take and see that we are doing good on our service. Having empty stations, I don't mind it when it's like, okay, I put it there so I know that that's the next spot that's logical for if it grows that way, or to try to force it to grow that way. But when they won't go to it, you just wait it. Or blast it off and try again. So I'm going to run a pretty hefty bus on Rendon for this, because this one is going to do a rather weird schedule. It's going to come into here, come to here, 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 copy backwards so that it hits this as well for the waypoint to come back through this spot. And of course we start with Rendon because it is Rendon. We're going to call this the troll hook bus, and to sort of give a good thing going and make it so that this is understandable why we're calling it troll hook. We're going to call it troll hook tank up. There we go. New station. Change this to troll hook station, Rendon. And that should take care of those. Then we just have these two over at Springmouth. Yep. Springmouth, we're kind of looking at the axis here and the inner here. So it was basically we had grown out. They hadn't started building. But we have gotten more building going out here this way now, so I can throw one there. Heck, we can even throw one here now. And that's going to be good. Okay. Now Springmouth, of course, like I've said before, services out of the old lovely satellite yard. And we're going to put a double-decker onto this bus because this is going to be a fun bus to run. So he's going to start his schedule out here at Axis, and let me get everything out of the way so we can kind of see what we're doing. Come to enter, downtown, turn the corner, go to here, and copy backwards. And this becomes Springmouth. The Springmouth Rural and Axial Bus. Under a convention I've been starting to use, which is the endpoints, the end of lines. Now we still have the green fields east that we just added in to take and add into here. Yep. But we're doing that through something else. I'm going to see who's the nearest bus stop, which is this guy. And what's his connections? The Crude Workers bus. Let's open that bus. Line, and we are going to take a look at the schedule. Perfect. So, before the crude yard, but after Scrapyard Gully, we need to do an insert here, and then on the way back in here. That should take and help us serve those buses a little bit better. Give us a growth zone that we can grow in, an industry zone we can deliver to people to. More workers, better we're going to be. All right, let's take a peek now. We're off to what? Ashwell Brenton Village. So let's go to the Pauling Field and see what that village stop is all about. The Village East stop was a planned stop, and it does look like that area of town grew a lot, but we just missed that bus stop, or we took it out somehow or another. So I'm going to go to my line list, use the quick elimination of the filter to go to Pauling Field. There we go. And there's part of the problem. Holy smokes. I wondered, did I do a bunch of poly? Yeah, I did the POLY and POLI buses. And boy, that's... Poly East Side bus, and that's the one I kind of want to see the schedule for, because the East Side is what that's supposed to be in. Because again, it is at, nope, that's Ashwell's East and Village East, the Village East. Well, let's go to Village East. And that's not really the East Side, so we'll close the East Side bus. I think the West Side bus. You know, that's a good option right there. So that's between Axis and Town Hall. Perfect. Do the insert, add that in. Same thing backwards between Town Hall and Axis. add that stop. There we go. And that will now get us down to just the two. Long episode here, 35 minutes. Guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm Kelly Jack. Hope you're enjoying playing along here, or watching along as I play Simitrans. And this is the Pak64 Devil's Towers 1969 Fixit game that I'm running. Someday I'll take and figure out which map it's on for you and tell you, so you can try to generate one that's close to it. Realize where everything's at on it will be random because it's just a base landform. Maybe I'll even load up the 35 game if I ever get a server. If. Mighty big word for an old guy like me.